Immediately derived. Immediately derived. I was so stupid that I closed my sky. I was so stupid that I closed my sky. We go to the amusement park once a year. We go to the amusement park once a year. Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Should we seek more funds? Should we seek more funds? 1 minute later they are the magistrates. 1 minute later they are the magistrates. Later. Later. Your mother-in-law is a travel agency. Your mother-in-law is a travel agency. They won't come after midnight. They won't come after midnight. The cooks will cook for the guests at the restaurant. The cooks will cook for the guests at the restaurant. Can you calculate how much money we have left after paying the bills? Can you calculate how much money we have left after paying the bills? Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? The course was challenging but rewarding. The course was challenging but rewarding. Should not be supported. Should not be supported. He had read the book before seeing the movie adaptation. He had read the book before seeing the movie adaptation. The disease spread rapidly and affected many people in the community. The disease spread rapidly and affected many people in the community. Had he added? Had he added? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? It is not prompted after 1 second. It is not prompted after 1 second. Why did not you call me? Why did not you call me? I am a human being and I want to improve my life. I am a human being and I want to improve my life. Can it produce immediately? Can it produce immediately? Aren't we going to be paramedics in a week? Aren't we going to be paramedics in a week? Can he remember later at 5 a.m.? Can he remember later at 5 a.m.? My stepson was an operator. My stepson was an operator. His brother-in-law is president. His brother-in-law is president. Should not travel. Should not travel. Should not be forced immediately. Should not be forced immediately. Aren't you usually a dermatologist? Aren't you usually a dermatologist? Colleague is an athlete. Colleague is an athlete. Don't they change? Don't they change? I need to replace the batteries in the remote control. I need to replace the batteries in the remote control. Couldn't he come in? Couldn't he come in? We will send it to you after today. We will send it to you after today. Tommy has more grapes than Tony. Tommy has more grapes than Tony. Swipe all your other photos while showing only one. Swipe all your other photos while showing only one. Was your grandson a wrestler? Was your grandson a wrestler? Did he start a war at night? Did he start a war at night? They cannot mark 1 year later. They cannot mark 1 year later. His half-brother is a lobbyist. His half-brother is a lobbyist. He wouldn't get off the ship. He wouldn't get off the ship. Could be an engineer. Could be an engineer. Doesn't he come back every day? Doesn't he come back every day? The chain was too short. The chain was too short. Can it settle in from time to time? Can it settle in from time to time? Aren't you going to open at noon? Aren't you going to open at noon? Most of my day was spent in meetings. Most of my day was spent in meetings. I do not know what to say. I do not know what to say. His brothers are detectives. His brothers are detectives. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look. Not even near. Not even near. May not kick. may not kick. Descendants organizer. Descendants organizer. Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? Must dance now. Must dance now. You should get well soon. You should get well soon. Maybe you should go home and clean up. Maybe you should go home and clean up. Retail. Retail. Will I ask after 4 nights? Will I ask after 4 nights? She does ballet on Wednesday evenings. She does ballet on Wednesday evenings. He has no fever. He has no fever. White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. Then they could count. Then they could count. Can't we pass in 2 hours? Can't we pass in 2 hours? Can I push weekly? Can I push weekly? This is a kind of apple. This is a kind of apple. I may not have accepted before. I may not have accepted before. He went to the gym to exercise. He went to the gym to exercise. I could smell the delicious smell of freshly brewed coffee. I could smell the delicious smell of freshly brewed coffee. He studied for the exam all week. He studied for the exam all week. John, what's your vendor ID you're talking about? John, what's your vendor ID you're talking about? Couldn't he be a golfer a century from now? Couldn't he be a golfer a century from now? My stepfather was an engineer. My stepfather was an engineer. I will buy a shirt. I will buy a shirt. She was a maid at dawn. She was a maid at dawn. Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? I will go on a journey. I will go on a journey. Were his grandparents salesmen? Were his grandparents salesmen? I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. I think John deserves a promotion. I think John deserves a promotion. Firefighters will put out the fire all night. Firefighters will put out the fire all night. I will be brave. I will be brave. Can be covered immediately. Can be covered immediately. We are aware of this. We are aware of this. Do we have to replace it every month? Do we have to replace it every month? There was a park on the left. There was a park on the left. Were you a blogger a century ago? Were you a blogger a century ago? Doesn't he play? Doesn't he play? Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Can they insist right away? Can they insist right away? Any wine left in the bottle? Any wine left in the bottle? It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. We are ahead of schedule for this project. We are ahead of schedule for this project. They will be interviewers. They will be interviewers. This was a great idea. This was a great idea. My mother was a race car driver. My mother was a race car driver. Make sure. Make sure. Can you repeat please? Can you repeat please? When leaving the room, you must remember to turn off the lights. When leaving the room, you must remember to turn off the lights. Let me know. Let me know. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. The company is looking for a new product manager. The company is looking for a new product manager. Was his father the weatherman? Was his father the weatherman? We wouldn't start. We wouldn't start. His stepson was a cop. His stepson was a cop. Weaken the foundations. Weaken the foundations. I don't think so because I'm king. I don't think so because I'm king. Was your stepbrother a photographer? Was your stepbrother a photographer? Wouldn't you have researched after a week? Wouldn't you have researched after a week? I don't understand. I don't understand. They had been dating for 3 years before getting engaged. They had been dating for 3 years before getting engaged. I shouldn't be texting daily. I shouldn't be texting daily. I am reading a book. I am reading a book. It could cost 2 years ago. It could cost 2 years ago. No noon. No noon. There is a rest at night. There is a rest at night. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach. We have guests in the gym. We have guests in the gym. Will he be a linguist? Will he be a linguist? Above all, safety is our priority. Above all, safety is our priority. Can't I derive after 5 weeks? Can't I derive after 5 weeks? Was our nephew a sociologist? Was our nephew a sociologist? He must be a missionary. He must be a missionary. I'm going to the farm. I'm going to the farm. The author will work on his new novel for months. The author will work on his new novel for months. Can't I call? Can't I call? Can't help at noon? Can't help at noon? Your grandson is a plumber. Your grandson is a plumber. He had a band-aid on his finger. He had a band-aid on his finger. Can he always finish? Can he always finish? Should it serve soon? Should it serve soon? Am I hopeful in the afternoon? Am I hopeful in the afternoon? They have 2 children. They have 2 children. They ate sushi for dinner. They ate sushi for dinner. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. You can make a cake for your family. You can make a cake for your family. His wife is a cop. His wife is a cop. Never fear. Never fear. His nephew was a postman. His nephew was a postman. We rent a quiet place to live. We rent a quiet place to live. They suggest. They suggest. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are your kids rappers? Are your kids rappers? He plays the piano every day. He plays the piano every day. Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do I have to teach in a minute? Do I have to teach in a minute? We've been through a lot together and I know I can always count on him. We've been through a lot together and I know I can always count on him. If the weather doesn't freeze, I'll go out. If the weather doesn't freeze, I'll go out. Socks are weird. Socks are weird. Their grandmother was a cop. Their grandmother was a cop. I can't quite reach the top shelf. I can't quite reach the top shelf. We have everything. We have everything. Extra fit and fair man is my favorite phrase. Extra fit and fair man is my favorite phrase. Social. Social. I don't do pottery at noon. I don't do pottery at noon. Shouldn't they be thanked? Shouldn't they be thanked? Fascinating. Fascinating. It shouldn't cost a week or 2. It shouldn't cost a week or 2. Should you drink often? Should you drink often? Was your nephew the manager? Was your nephew the manager? Talk to a partner. When do you usually do it? Talk to a partner. When do you usually do it? He has started a new job. He has started a new job. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. He shouldn't be dealing with her at noon. He shouldn't be dealing with her at noon. Good job. Good job. We made a trip to the zoo. We made a trip to the zoo. I don't kick. I don't kick. This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. Are your brothers archaeologists? Are your brothers archaeologists? The edge of the cliff was a dangerous place to stand. The edge of the cliff was a dangerous place to stand. Can't he stretch? Can't he stretch? The car broke down on the roadside, so we had to call the tow truck. The car broke down on the roadside, so we had to call the tow truck. Can we get some rest last year? Can we get some rest last year? Is our son an oncologist? Is our son an oncologist? Both parties must come to a mutual agreement. Both parties must come to a mutual agreement. Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Shall we install it now? Shall we install it now? Wouldn't he be a senator after a weekend? Wouldn't he be a senator after a weekend? Were their grandchildren bus drivers? Were their grandchildren bus drivers? Let's talk about the past. Let's talk about the past. They were swimming in the pool when it started to rumble. They were swimming in the pool when it started to rumble. Wasn't I a rower 3 days ago? Wasn't I a rower 3 days ago? I feel tired and cold. I feel tired and cold. Your husband is an accountant. Your husband is an accountant. Has he been taken care of at dawn? Has he been taken care of at dawn? Next month we will do a photo shoot for our website. Next month we will do a photo shoot for our website. You can come later. You can come later. Can he sign then? Can he sign then? How old are you? How old are you? Why are you so angry with me? Why are you so angry with me? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? They had been working for weeks before the big game and it paid off. They had been working for weeks before the big game and it paid off. And the house seems full of us all. And the house seems full of us all. Didn't you do the occasional funeral? Didn't you do the occasional funeral? You may not insist annually. You may not insist annually. He will write a book. He will write a book. Can I have another slice of cake? Can I have another slice of cake? Shaved. Shaved. How can you be late? How can you be late? Was his half-brother an aviator? Was his half-brother an aviator? Rarely hit? Rarely hit? My brother-in-law is assistant cook. My brother-in-law is assistant cook. The party was so much fun and we danced all night. The party was so much fun and we danced all night. They have been married for 10 years. They have been married for 10 years. The size of the house is small. The size of the house is small. Can you lend me your pen? Can you lend me your pen? Aren't they 2 weeks from the advertiser? Aren't they 2 weeks from the advertiser? 2 breakfast is served from 7 a.m. 2 breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Should I threaten? Should I threaten? Let me get my wallet before I leave. Let me get my wallet before I leave. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. His goal is to become a doctor. His goal is to become a doctor. I will retire an hour ago. I will retire an hour ago. They wear matching t-shirts on holiday. They wear matching t-shirts on holiday. Was our spouse an ambassador? Was our spouse an ambassador? Can it install 1 month ago? Can it install 1 month ago? He can dress in the twilight. He can dress in the twilight. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. I am aware that I need to improve my English. I am aware that I need to improve my English. To solve. To solve. His grandfather is a senator. His grandfather is a senator. Shouldn't I normally be a cop? Shouldn't I normally be a cop? Did not provide daily training. Did not provide daily training. You are not behaving. You are not behaving. Didn't he finish 1 night ago? Didn't he finish 1 night ago? We never consultant? We never consultant? Wants to stay here. Wants to stay here. He enjoys reading books on history and politics. He enjoys reading books on history and politics. Is her stepbrother a doctor? Is her stepbrother a doctor? Didn't they eat? Didn't they eat? I bought a new car last month. I bought a new car last month. That name must be an economist every year. Must be an economist every year. This came for you and I did this to you. This came for you and I did this to you. Grilled squid. Grilled squid. I am more valuable than you. I am more valuable than you. Type of job functions. Type of job functions. Did we expect something else? Did we expect something else? Not all students passed the exam. Not all students passed the exam. Ambitious. Ambitious. Had attended. Had attended. Raw beets. Raw beets. Tinned. Tinned. Normally there is. Normally there is. All the guests have arrived. All the guests have arrived. What is your favorite sport? What is your favorite sport? I want to eat ice cream. I want to eat ice cream. Where will you be at 6 o'clock? Where will you be at 6 o'clock? Was not visible now. Was not visible now. When I spoke to their previous manager, they said the same thing. When I spoke to their previous manager, they said the same thing. We never sit. We never sit. I adore camping. I adore camping. Can I have your contact number, please? Can I have your contact number, please? May have been a warrior before. May have been a warrior before. Don't we learn normally? Don't we learn normally? I'm going on vacation next month. I'm going on vacation next month. I ate an apple after my father slept. I ate an apple after my father slept. There are no apples left in the basket. There are no apples left in the basket. I was finalizing. I was finalizing. Wasn't I 3 games in the morning before? Wasn't I 3 games in the morning before? He will study for his exam next month. He will study for his exam next month. I don't notice anything strange. I don't notice anything strange. We didn't have any audit logs at Company X. We didn't have any audit logs at Company X. If the floor is not wet, I will go out. If the floor is not wet, I will go out. Should not call after a century. Should not call after a century. Please take your medicine as directed. Please take your medicine as directed. You will come close. You will come close. Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? Was his wife a writer? Was his wife a writer? Not hit? Not hit? The politics of the country is popular. The politics of the country is popular. Do you travel a lot? Do you travel a lot? The company is looking for a new project manager. The company is looking for a new project manager. We do not produce. We do not produce. Why not right away? Why not right away? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? I wear glasses. I wear glasses. Should it be voiced? Should it be voiced? You can carry. You can carry. You make a difference. You make a difference. Didn't he get any points? Didn't he get any points? Can it block? Can it block? Are they commanding after 4 centuries? Are they commanding after 4 centuries? I should never limit. I should never limit. We can experience immediately. We can experience immediately. I'm in the room with the desk. I'm in the room with the desk. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? It is very important to question our beliefs. It is very important to question our beliefs. It should be. It should be. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. The impact of the new legislation on the economy was not yet known. The impact of the new legislation on the economy was not yet known. Can he come? Can he come? Was his half-brother the founder? Was his half-brother the founder? Meanwhile, couldn't he have been a professor before? Couldn't he have been a professor before? Right at noon? Right at noon? Can't we rule soon? Can't we rule soon? Math class. Math class. Monthly may fail. Monthly may fail. You shouldn't look back. You shouldn't look back. Was his half-brother a plumber? Was his half-brother a plumber? My neighbor is a soldier. My neighbor is a soldier. This is our last lesson this week. This is our last lesson this week. I'm not sure I want to believe what you're saying. I'm not sure I want to believe what you're saying. If you want to drive, yes, you must have a driver's license. If you want to drive, yes, you must have a driver's license. I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm cooking dinner. I'm cooking dinner. Okay, everything. Okay, everything. Our cousins are designers. Our cousins are designers. He wouldn't dance. He wouldn't dance. Perception. Perception. It's 8:15. It's 8:15. Won't they be mining after 2 weeks? Won't they be mining after 2 weeks? Can you help me carry these groceries to the car? Can you help me carry these groceries to the car? They wouldn't be stewardesses at sunrise. They wouldn't be stewardesses at sunrise. His half-brother is an alchemist. His half-brother is an alchemist. Can you be a daily nutritionist? Can you be a daily nutritionist? I cheated on my math test. I cheated on my math test. My cousins are managers. My cousins are managers. He wouldn't be a consultant next year. He wouldn't be a consultant next year. We can't eat. We can't eat. Their stepmother is an optician. Their stepmother is an optician. Okay, everything. Okay, everything. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. Correctly. Correctly. Is he hopeful? Is he hopeful? I am willing to work hard to improve our relationship. I am willing to work hard to improve our relationship. Their daughters were musicians. Their daughters were musicians. Our grandfather was a journalist. Our grandfather was a journalist. His brother was a baker. His brother was a baker. I found a reason for me. I found a reason for me. Won't it mean? Won't it mean? Weren't they naturalists last year? Weren't they naturalists last year? In order for the teacher to calculate your final grade, they must be successful in your exams. In order for the teacher to calculate your final grade, they must be successful in your exams. They could not start in the afternoon. They could not start in the afternoon. He is taking. He is taking. You're out of control. You're out of control. Works for 10 years. Works for 10 years. Will I destroy it next year? Will I destroy it next year? Shrimps. Shrimps. Is his stepson a publisher? Is his stepson a publisher? It will take a lot of work for both of us to finish this project. It will take a lot of work for both of us to finish this project. Didn't they post? Didn't they post? I'm sorry I missed him. I'm sorry I missed him. I will not hurt you. I will not hurt you. Do we have to write a diary? Do we have to write a diary? Didn't tile before? Didn't tile before? Should he then split the 2 evenings? Should he then split the 2 evenings? Could you please turn off the lights before you go? Could you please turn off the lights before you go? The factor that determines success is hard work. The factor that determines success is hard work. The plane flew above the clouds. The plane flew above the clouds. Won't you referee at noon? Won't you referee at noon? Shouldn't it have taken over last year? Shouldn't it have taken over last year? We rarely hunted. We rarely hunted. The project will continue for another 6 months. The project will continue for another 6 months. She should have done vocals before. She should have done vocals before. I must not spawn in the twilight. I must not spawn in the twilight. This would be perfect for you. This would be perfect for you. He makes me laugh and is always by my side. He makes me laugh and is always by my side. I went to the hospital yesterday. I went to the hospital yesterday. We didn't talk to each other like that. We didn't talk to each other like that. What happened to you? What happened to you? They do grocery shopping every week. They do grocery shopping every week. They won't come after midnight. They won't come after midnight. How much is a room per night? How much is a room per night? Should they insist? Should they insist? I can't be a musician every week. I can't be a musician every week. How much is this? How much is this? Was my colleague a salesperson? Was my colleague a salesperson? I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did this. You shouldn't show it right away. You shouldn't show it right away. I don't want to lose sight of many things. I don't want to lose sight of many things. Shouldn't they be reported? Shouldn't they be reported? I will go for a walk. I will go for a walk. Respect. Respect. Doesn't he explain at noon? Doesn't he explain at noon? No one is coming. No one is coming. Will not visit. Will not visit. Doesn't it sit after a night? Doesn't it sit after a night? Is her father a blogger? Is her father a blogger? 5 seconds later admin? 5 seconds later admin? One providing evidence is the only way to persuade others. One providing evidence is the only way to persuade others. Was her mother-in-law a nurse? Was her mother-in-law a nurse? You didn't draw. You didn't draw. Is his brother a geographer? Is his brother a geographer? Should he collect it next year? Should he collect it next year? To understand. To understand. He will not teach at dawn. He will not teach at dawn. We could have cried the night before. We could have cried the night before. They fished in the lake all day. They fished in the lake all day. We need a script. We need a script. You go to concerts on the weekends. You go to concerts on the weekends. Can it be suppressed at night? Can it be suppressed at night? Can he come? Can he come? We can't leave sooner. We can't leave sooner. Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? My stepbrother is a garbage man. My stepbrother is a garbage man. I may be late for our appointment. I may be late for our appointment. I have a lot. I have a lot. We cannot always impose. We cannot always impose. Did it fit 2 nights ago? Did it fit 2 nights ago? The container holds 1 liter of liquid. The container holds 1 liter of liquid. What should I do? What should I do? Can't we leave? Can't we leave? To change. To change. I love the smell of freshly cut grass. I love the smell of freshly cut grass. We have a large and comfortable seating area. We have a large and comfortable seating area. Can't they be nurses later? Can't they be nurses later? Can allow. Can allow. I'm in the next room. I'm in the next room. Can't we connect? Can't we connect? All information is included in this report. All information is included in this report. I want to walk in the park. I want to walk in the park. Who is our friend? Who is our friend? Can we confess? Can we confess? Keep it up, Tommy. Keep it up, Tommy. It was the most important thing in the world to me. It was the most important thing in the world to me. Couldn't he go at night? Couldn't he go at night? We will invest at night. We will invest at night. Did you take your meds today? Did you take your meds today? Will you be an economist by noon? Will you be an economist by noon? You can take. You can take. Will you link in 4 seconds? Will you link in 4 seconds? I have an accent. I have an accent. Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your pen? His half-sister was the butler. His half-sister was the butler. What will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow? Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? If I want to save on gas, I'll have to cycle to work. If I want to save on gas, I'll have to cycle to work. Can't you get a job? Can't you get a job? Didn't we answer? Didn't we answer? We can't besiege after 4 nights. We can't besiege after 4 nights. Brown is the color of dirt. Brown is the color of dirt. We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. Rolled over. Rolled over. Maybe you'll meet John. Maybe you'll meet John. Your father is a philosopher. Your father is a philosopher. Didn't you diversify? Didn't you diversify? I put my phone in my bag. I put my phone in my bag. Would he paint in the afternoon? Would he paint in the afternoon? It could be poison. It could be poison. Should I go ashore after 3 years? Should I go ashore after 3 years? It shouldn't get cold after 3 years. It shouldn't get cold after 3 years. Would we be programmers in 1 afternoon? Would we be programmers in 1 afternoon? You're welcome. You're welcome. Can you use it for 2 weeks? Can you use it for 2 weeks? Do I ever evaluate? Do I ever evaluate? You are never a glazier. You are never a glazier. Would they force? Would they force? Your father was a bricklayer. Your father was a bricklayer. He plays football every Saturday. He plays football every Saturday. I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. Can't come after 3 months? Can't come after 3 months? When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. All instructions are included in the manual. All instructions are included in the manual. It's not bounce. It's not bounce. Should we know? Should we know? Represent. Represent. Won't you be a gynecologist at sunrise? Won't you be a gynecologist at sunrise? Where is the scissors? Where is the scissors? Was our stepdaughter the curator? Was our stepdaughter the curator? Can't ask monthly? Can't ask monthly? We will present our proposal at the meeting. We will present our proposal at the meeting. If you do not receive a response within this time, do you cancel the request and continue with your flow? If you do not receive a response within this time, do you cancel the request and continue with your flow? Is her stepdaughter a potter? Is her stepdaughter a potter? I want to buy a new house. I want to buy a new house. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. We will feel it soon. We will feel it soon. I'm going to the bowling alley. I'm going to the bowling alley. Should we usually provide? Should we usually provide? Our grandmother was a politician. Our grandmother was a politician. You are now a travel agent. You are now a travel agent. We answer often. We answer often. Was I studying when you called? Was I studying when you called? Let me know if you need any help. Let me know if you need any help. Hit. Hit. They used computers to do their homework. They used computers to do their homework. Air traffic controller in 2 hours? Air traffic controller in 2 hours? Then he wouldn't complain from 5 a.m. Then he wouldn't complain from 5 a.m. We should not undertake. We should not undertake. Was never an employer. Was never an employer. Sandwich stuffing. Sandwich stuffing. Do you babysit often? Do you babysit often? He won't talk to her until he apologizes. He won't talk to her until he apologizes. I actually worked with John as well. I actually worked with John as well. Can be selected earlier. Can be selected earlier. You can analyze. You can analyze. Could not weld every month. Could not weld every month. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. Should not see. Should not see. Our husband is a urologist. Our husband is a urologist. He walks to work every day. He walks to work every day. I am not support. I am not support. Let me show you around the city. Let me show you around the city. I'm not going to bed until I finish this book. I'm not going to bed until I finish this book. Will they finish in 4 years? Will they finish in 4 years? Are their stepdaughters a pharmacist? Are their stepdaughters a pharmacist? Did not provide daily training. Did not provide daily training. What kind of support can you give to our project? What kind of support can you give to our project?